Hello everybody, Drew here, tip of the Mitt Flips, where I'm a stay-at-home dad and a part-time eBay reseller. And every 100 subscribers, there's a giveaway. So if you're watching, make sure you subscribe so you have a chance to win. And we are very close to the next subscriber giveaway, only 20 subs to go. So if you are watching and you are not subbed, please consider doing so. And then you and everyone else, when that happens, will have a chance to win the giveaway. I got 6 orders going out today, plus 1 TCG player order. That's not a ton, but one of them did kind of put me over that. It's still a good day. I have 2 packages that came yesterday. I saved those till today because I think they're both important to discuss, so I figured we go ahead and do that. First thing going out, E11. That's a weird one. E11, it's a Columbia shirt. And sorry about that noise. E11 is where I keep clothes, basically. This one right in here, and why it's in this terrible spot that's hard to get to, and I don't really use it because I don't sell clothes. I don't like it. I've said many times, it's because I'm not set up for it. It's one of the best things for scalability, books and clothing. That's about the tops for Scalable, because you can source them in mass quantity, and you know, you can store them and all the other check marks to be able to scale up to, you know, the warehouses and the employees and all that kind of stuff. But for me, I just hate it. I hate it so much. And there's always so many questions. So many questions. I'm not willing to do enough work ahead of time even to deal with clothing. But for that one right there, I countered an offer or accepted an offer, something like that. Probably accepted an offer. $18 free shipping. I think Jen picked it up at a garage sale, so probably under $1. So I'm okay with that. And they said, no from buyer. Thanks. Actually, they said, thanks! Exclamation point. Next up, just listed this. C1A is the Wonderful World of Disney add-on cards for the Disney trivia game. It's 800 new questions, but there's like 5 questions per card. So that's a little misleading, but whatever. $14.99 free shipping. I think that was full asking price. I'm not positive. Next up, B3G is a worn quick connect. B3G. Oof. Why would I put something in here? Why would I put something in this one? B3G. I must have already been in there, and then I don't know. I think what needs to happen is I need to space these out further after this stuff kind of sells off, and then have these on top of these further across. I think that's a better plan, but it is this thing, which unfortunately is only half. There's supposed to be 2 of these in the package, so they took it out and used one and then didn't need the second one, or whatever the reason is, because new in package with both these, it's like a $60 item, and I got it in a Mikhail mystery box, so that's under $1. I took an offer on that one, $20 free shipping. There were no sold comps, even on Terapeak, of a single. All the purchases were of a new package, so I priced it a little cheap, and then when that offer came in, I said, yeah, that's fine. I paid less than $1, $20 free shipping, sold in about a week. I'm okay with that. And I did have something worth mentioning. Someone sent me an offer on a book called The Mount of Blessings, and in pristine mint condition, it's a $200 book-ish. $200-ish book. Mine is in, I would say, poor condition. Poor to poor. It's in poor condition. It's not ripped or anything like that, but it's whatever. It's in poor condition. And the buyer, the potential buyer, messaged and said, they sent me an offer $40. And said, this book in pristine condition sells between $50 and $100. And I messaged them back and said something along the lines of, well, I have the only one available for sale in the world. It seems like there's none on Via Libre, which if you sell any books, you should know that website, Via Libre. Look it up, use it. It's very useful. And it searches, it's a lot, 50, 100, I don't know. Whatever number I said would be a guess. Searches all basically book selling sites of different countries, searches multiple eBay sites, Amazon, all the book sites. So if you can't find a book, or you need a better price for a book, or you just want to know a little bit more about the pricing of a book, that's a good source. And if I look on there, there's none available on that either. So that's why I believe I have the only one for sale currently in the world. Could I be wrong on that? Yeah, but it's very limited. So I said something along the lines of, I have the only one available. I get to set the price. I set the market. Me. Like, sure, if they're very aware of that too. You know how much it's supposed to go for. You're not buying it for yourself. I looked at their eBay store. They're a bookseller. They were looking to buy it from me and resell it to somebody probably locally at their bookstore or whatever my voice got high there, or whatever their plan was. They were trying to get it cheap for me to make some money from somebody else, but they were aware of it. But if you're not aware of it, tip of the day. The tip of the day is, if you are the only seller, you are also the market price setter. Do not undersell yourself because a price comp says something. Like, sure, if it's sold for $75, don't put it at $1,000 if you have the only one. But also, don't put it at $75. Put it at $100, $125, $150. You are the market. You make those decisions, and those opportunities don't come up all the time where you hold the one. So don't sell short. I did that with a bobblehead. Let me take that back. It was a nodder. When they're the old bobbleheads. Bobblehead's a brand, but they're nodders. This one was a baggy shirt. I learned way too much about bobblehead. If you find old bobbleheads, that's good money. Old. But it was a baggy shirt, toes up, something, like all these criteria for people that collect them. I couldn't find a sold comp of mine ever. I found others comparable, but none that were exactly like mine. And I priced mine $100 more than the ones that were comparable because there wasn't that exact one. And when the person is looking for that one, they might pay up a little bit. I ended up settling, for a much lower price than I priced it at, but you can't get more money once it's sold. You can't ask for more money. So don't sell yourself short when you are the seller. Next up, it's A4, a Golden Eagle telephone. A1234. And this, I don't know where I got this. I'm going to say a Mikhail mystery box, but I actually do not know. I don't even think that's true, but I don't know. It's a cool looking phone. Blue. Real cool blue. Clean condition. That'll look cool on somebody's desk. $10 plus shipping on that. Next up, B3D is Avon Little Bears. They're like little sports bears of some kind. B right here. B3D. Oh, these are heavy. All right, so they are first day back to school, report card day. So I guess they're not all sports. School's out, and then there's a little batter up kind of thing. But they're little pewter bears from Avon. I got $14.99 free shipping. Oof. I mean, it's still not a problem, but those were heavy. Okay. They will still go first class. So $14.99 free shipping going first class. I have no clue where those came from. Not even in the slightest. And I also do have a pending sale. Are they going to pay? Who knows? I assume because it was a baseball card, a single card. I don't think anybody really haggles on a single card for under $5 and then doesn't pay for it. But I don't know. My card selling on eBay experience is very limited, as all of you found out by my bad take on eBay standard envelope. So next up, C2. Oh, it's on a shelf. That's weird. C2 is vintage Nike Air Icarus. C2 down here. Aha. And I got these at my local Salvation Army. And these are new old stock vintage shoes. I got very excited when I found these, or when I saw these. Not like I was digging through for treasure, but they came with replacement somethings for part of the shoe. They were a little misformed from being in the box forever. They were a little misshapen. Like maybe this isn't the right box for them or something. I don't really know. But these, I'm done messing with them. That's enough of that. But they were new old stock, and I will figure that out when I go to box them up. I paid, I think 15 bucks, I think. And they were on a 30% off sale, and I still got $104.99 free shipping because it's through eBay authentication. So eBay pays for the shipping, or at least eBay deals with the shipping. So it's free shipping, but I don't have to pay for it. And I like that. When eBay switched over to the free shipping or eBay does the shipping for the authenticated shoes, that was a great move on their part. Great for shoe sellers, because also the dimensions and weight maximum on the label they give you is huge. I could throw that in. I think it maxes out at like a Home Depot small box. Do I have something sitting around? Like a box like this big, which, you know, compare that to my foot. It's a giant box. And there's no weight limit. The weight limit's very high, like very, very high. So it's a big plus, because you can just chuck it in whatever box you want, throw a bunch of paper in it, and it's good to go. But $104.99, I was very excited to have that sale come in this morning, or maybe it was late last evening when I was sleeping. So I'm going to get these packed up, and then we'll come back to the packages that I was talking about. Oh, and the TCG player order was a $27 order. So not the normal nickel and dimes. It was actually a really good order. It was for 3 copies of this card right here, Forest Seal Stone. And I'm packing up the shoes, and just to clarify how ridiculous, I mean, I don't know why they would do this to themselves, but to ship this pair of shoes with a free label I'm getting from eBay that I don't have to pay for or anything, I don't get fees on, anything like that, max weight 30 pounds, max dimensions 20 by 20 by 20. That's insane. I could ship it in a cooler. Actually, don't do that, by the way. If you ship something in a cooler, like you're intending on shipping in a cooler with like dry ice or something, put that cooler in a box. You will get upcharged for using a non-traditional container. I found that out randomly waiting in line at the shipping store one time, but you will get upcharged for using, I think that's what they call it, non-traditional. But yeah, max weight 30 pounds, max dimension 20, 20, 20. That's huge. For this. I should start shipping a brick with them for fun. Of course I won't do that. That's stupid. I just find that hilarious. I don't know. And this is why that's somewhat important, because normally I would, of course, resize this box so I don't have to waste a bunch of packing material, extra weight, any of that. But now I have all the reasons to not resize this box and throw a few bubble bags or a piece of paper in there, crumple some paper, because I don't have to worry about all the other stuff. So that's what I mean. It's really a great thing for the sellers. And the buyers ended with a better deal anyways, because they were getting hit with shipping twice, and now I think they only get one charge, and somehow, because they did an exclusivity deal with, I think, FedEx, they have worked out a better deal for themselves. I'm very happy about it, because I was like, oh, I think this box is going to work out all right. I put it in there, and I was about to get my tools to start resizing the box, and I go, why? What am I doing? Don't waste your time. Throw a piece of paper in there, close it up, be on with your day. All right, so I got a couple things to show off. I don't know if I mentioned that I had to cut down on time. I think I did. Sounds familiar as I'm saying it. I got a return address stamp. It works great. I'll put a link for that in the description if you need one of those, just to save yourself some time on shopping around. And then I also got the ship shields in, which are for cards. It's basically like a top loader, but for cards, for shipping purposes. You obviously can't display them in here, but I think these are going to be great. I think they will cut down on my time. They fit more. That was my main problem, is anything over 3 cards, I was having to finagle it and do some extra stuff. I needed simplicity. That's what I need in my life. I need a lot more simplicity in my life. And they were also the cheapest option. So I went for it. I bought a bunch of them. I don't remember exactly how many this is. They were free shipping, but I think ended up being less than 8 cents each. So that brings my shipping cost down for cards. It brings it down like 2.5 cents. I'll get a total at some point once I figure out my system completely. And then the next thing, let me go ahead and open that real quick. I was doing a unboxing of a Mikhail mystery box not that long ago, and there was a bunch of Bibles, and I mentioned that supplementary things for the Bible actually sell really well. And I specifically mentioned this book that I had sold for, I want to say it was around $40. I don't remember exactly how much I sold mine for, but when I went to look up a comp to put in the video, I noticed this exact one was on auction with 0 bids. So I put a watch this item on there, click the little heart icon, and it came up that no one bid on it. So I got it for, it was like after tax, it was still under $10 free shipping. Now I'm going to turn around and sell that and make, I don't know, minimum I'm going to make 10 bucks on it, which is not huge money or great money, but I happened to come across it, just watched it, point, click, comes to my front door. I mean, sourcing doesn't get any easier than randomly stumbling upon it, knowing that it's worth more than they're asking for it, knowing that auctions are ludicrous for 90% of items. And so I snagged it real cheap, and I'll turn around, I'll list mine as the cheapest one available and try to flip it real quick. So just always, there's always new areas to source. It doesn't have to be thrift stores. I'm trying to be 100% done on thrift stores. The time is too much. The cost is too much. That's why I'm going really hard on the bulk Pokemon cards, because I can, while I'm laying in bed, before bed, 9 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, I go to bed early. I can just be scrolling through my phone before I go to bed, see if I can find a big lot of cards. Comes to my door, I process them, saves on time. Like I was mentioning with, if you're going to scale up, that's why clothing is so good for that. Books are so good for that, because you can source outside of the conventional sourcing methods in bulk, in larger amounts, in cheaper amounts, in easier capacity. And then next up, this one, I about fought my FedEx driver. She's probably a perfectly nice person, but I was sitting on my couch. When I'm home with Thea, my youngest, I'm usually playing or doing some laundry or whatever. So I'm by the front door. I'm 6 inches. There's a wall between me and my porch. For 2 days, she said she knocked on my door and kept leaving a tag. No, you didn't. You didn't knock on the door. How could... Whatever. The package is here. That's why I had to sign for it, because I really didn't know what it was, what I needed to sign for. I sold a Reserellers copper bottom pan that I gave them about a $12 discount on. Pans are gone. They take up too much room. I'm not pulling it now. That won't go out till Monday, but wherever it's at. See those pans back there? They're getting out of here at some point. It's probably back there also. They're out. I'm done with them. And I always say that about a lot of stuff, but if I found a Reserellers copper bottom, clean, with the lid, where I didn't have to do anything, I would still buy it at the right price. But if it wasn't all of those checks, no, not a chance. So let me pop this open, and this is a PSA order, my second one I've ever done. This one I think was a lot more successful. So what I'll do is I'll go through it. I'll put the prices of each on the screen, and then I will recap after we check them out. All right, we'll do a little surprise reveal and see if I get disappointed. The first one I sent out, my first PSA grading order, I basically broke even. So what happened is I listed all of them except for 2 cards that are going in my personal collection. I don't know if I'll keep any of these. These will probably all be up for sale. Maybe if there's one of them that's, a PSA 10 and it appears like it might still have growth over time, I might hang on to it, but who knows. All of these are from 4 separate collections though, so for me to give a even guess on how much I paid for them, the raw cards, it would be, because one of the collections I paid like $300 for, but it was a huge collection. So how do I decide how much each one of these cards I paid for it? So cost of goods, who knows? I mean, honestly, cost of goods probably, I mean, on a per card unit, it's, I know, less than 25 cents. But, you know, the higher end cards, it's not the same. You're paying for the higher end cards, the rest just kind of come with it. So either way, let's go through them and see how I did this time, and if this is something you should ever even consider doing. So first up, this one, let's see if I can get it without the glare. I'll zoom in after I'm editing. Marvel Universe Cosmic Spider-Man Excellent 5. That means that this one is definitely worthless. For an EX5 on this, I don't even have to look it up. I probably won't make my money back on that one. I will look it over and see, you know, where it messed up, where I messed up. And that's also a big plus of doing this, is once you have something like a 5, a 4, a 2 in your hand, then you have a better idea of what will end up in those ranges. But unfortunately, it changes from card to card. If you grade a super, super old, like a Mickey Mantle, what makes that a 10, 8, 5 is completely different than a card that was made this year, a 2022 or 23. The amount of damage or problems it can have lowers the newer the card is. So right here, this one is, like I said, a bit of a disappointment. Let me try and make sure I keep the glare off of it. Let's see, what do we got next? Next, Marvel Universe Spider-Man Mint 9. So what I'll probably end up doing with these two is I'll lot them together, because this one, you know, if I recouped what I paid to get it graded, that would be great. And then maybe putting it with this one will increase the value of the, or it'll make the listing look more attractive to have both of them in there. And then this one, a Agron EX Hollow. I got a a very good to excellent 4. This one I was expecting a low grade on, but I think I was hoping for more like a 6. But this is still, I think, in profits, but it does have a significant damage to it right there. So I'm still happy with this 4. I, of course, don't have the numbers in front of me, but they will be on the screen. And then this one was the disappointment of the order. It's a excellent Mint 6. This is a sticker. War is Hell Man from Simpsons 1990 Tops. I thought this was coming back at 10. And how I go about it is I figure out what I think it is. Then I go 2 gradings below that. And if 2 grades below what I think I'm going to get is still going to break even or be profitable, then I might as well send it off. Because worst case scenario is I break even. So that's at least my plan usually. But with that one Spider-Man card, I missed on that one. With this one right here, I missed on this one. And this one I thought was perfect. So I don't know. I'll look it over real good. But again, it could have been surface damage. I do see it has a print line in it. So maybe I just wasn't looking as good. Maybe I need to get myself a jeweler's loop. I heard that is very helpful. Next up, this is a 2-card set. Let me turn them this way for you. It is Ho-Oh Legend Hollow. This is an excellent to mint number 6. Excellent to mint 6. And then the bottom half of that card, and put them like this. See that right there? Turns into 1 card. I got a excellent mint 6. So both those grades are disappointing. But I did look. They send you a email with, you know, all your grades once they're graded. And there aren't any current listings with, or at least there wasn't when I checked, with the set. And so I can charge a little bit of a premium for the set because people don't have to buy from 2 separate buyers. They are the same grade, so that actually does help, even though it's a low grade, but that'll still work out fine for me. These ones I got in a Salvation Army find that I paid $4 for the whole collection, so I'm definitely not upset about those. And then this one, it's a Wheezing Excellent Mint 6. I'm pretty sure this was one of the higher dollar ones, but again, I don't recall. You will be knowing this as I'm talking, so I'll quit saying that I don't know, because you know. That's what matters. This one came in a $300 collection I bought. This is a good one right here. Arcanine reverse foil from the Legendary Collection, Near Mint 8. And that's just a cool looking card. I like Arcanine. He's a fuzzy boy. And then right here, Dark Charizard, Near Mint to Mint 8. Again, this is a good one. And then we have a, from again, the Legendary Collection, Bill, reverse foil, Near Mint 8. So no 10s in the whole thing, but I don't think I was expecting any. And I'll pop back in. Future Drew will pop back in once I actually know the numbers and do a little recap and talk about if this kind of thing is worth it for your regular eBay reseller. Not your card seller, your regular Joe, you reseller. If you happen to come across a card collection, is this something even worth your time? So once I total all that up, Future Drew will jump in and recap and discuss that a little more. Hello, Future Drew here. I, as always, have no time. I have 3 sick people in the house. Jen's sick. 2 of my kids are sick. They all got the flu. So Dad's doing triple, quadruple duty today. But a recap. Actually, let me try to keep myself focused here. I had mentioned before that I had an issue with the bubble wrap I got from American Bubble Boy. I was having trouble contacting them and figuring it out. And that was outside the norm of how I'd had any interactions with the company at all. It had all been above and beyond, in my opinion. And so yesterday, I just picked it up to get it out of my way and then put it back in my way. Yesterday, Joel, I'm still not positive, owner or CEO of the company, reached out to me and we got it figured out. And first off, he said, hey, I'd like to offer you, this a gift card or something like that. And so I thought to myself, let's take a negative and try to make it into a positive. And so I messaged him back and said, hey, how about we skip the refund or gift card or whatever, and you hook me up with an affiliate link. I've been advertising for you guys for free for a couple years. I might as well make a little bit on the back end out of it. And he said, that's a fantastic idea. So if you are in need of bubble wrap or Instapack, and I can't say if it's good or not yet, so they do sell coffee. He's sending me some. I'll try it. I will give it the either approval or disapproval. I will always take money, but I will never be bought out, if that makes sense. So I can't say if the coffee's good or not yet, but once I can, if it's good, they also sell coffee, but there will be a link in the description for your bubble wrap needs. Joel's a super nice guy. I'd heard that from people before. We had a really good conversation. He's definitely one of my people. He's definitely one of your guys' people. He's a hard worker. They put out a good product. They're trying to do a good service. That's why I thought it was very weird that it was taking me so long to get the whole thing worked out. And then he still insisted that I take the gift card. So all that to be said, a negative turned into a very, very positive. So American Bubble Boy, only bubble wrap I use before the affiliate link, and continuing now after, of course, the affiliate link. That will always be in the description when you have bubble wrap needs. And then the next part is, of course, I went over my PSA order, which this will be in a premiere, of course. So anyone that is in the live chat for the premiere, if you would like a tip of the mitt flip sticker for sticking through the video, for hanging out with me, for dealing with my nonsense video after video. If you'd like a tip of the mitt flip sticker, just either add me on Instagram and message me that way, or join the Facebook group and message me that way and get me your address, and I'll send you out a sticker for being in the premiere and hanging out, but you gotta be in the live chat. I like when people are there. That's a lot of fun for me. I don't get to go out, so this is my social life. That's a little bit of my social life. That's about as far as it goes. So I do appreciate it. The totals, I actually listed everything this morning. The total ended up the same, but two of the cards, one of them I increased the price of when I listed it, and one of them I decreased the price when I listed it. When I comped it out before for the numbers for the video, I was a little off, but the total ended up the same. I tried my best to think back and figure out and look at old videos and stuff like that of how much, because there was 4 separate collections that those 10 things came from, and the total cost of goods on those was $498. Now, that also came with, I don't know, 1,000 other cards, 2,000 other cards, maybe 5,000 other cards, a lot of other cards beyond that. So how do you break that down in a per card basis? You really can't. So $498 was the cost of goods. $810 was the listed value. PSA grading, the service, because I have a PSA subscription, is cheaper, but that's a $70 a year charge, I think. But I didn't include that in here because sometimes they do offers that you can still get either way. It was getting to be a lot of numbers. So PSA, what it cost me was $175 to get everything graded, shipping there, and then you have to pay for their shipping return service. You don't get to decide what that is. Whatever. So shipping was $35. So for a total of $102 potential profit. Now from that, all these toodles, if anybody has kids, you probably know what that is. If you don't, you think I'm insane. All of those totals were free shipping. So, and some of them were combined. So let's see, that's 8 listings. So another 40 off of that. Let's get rid of the 2 on the 102 for my easy math. So there we're at $60 profit, not even profit. That's $60 before eBay fees. So, one of them is listed at $250. So the eBay fees on that alone eats up half of that. So basically what I'm saying is after this is all said and done, there will be 0 profits on that PSA order. That is why if you are just a regular Joe Schmo reseller, and I'm not saying that in a negative way, I'm saying if you basically do exactly what I do, you sell one-offs, you go to garage sales, you don't specialize in anything, doing what I did is not recommended. Do not do it. I deal in cards. I like cards. I have a pretty solid knowledge of them, and it's still super thin margins. Because most people, what they would do is grade those cards, and then they're stuck with the rest. What am I going to do with this? How am I going to sell it? How am I going to get rid of it? I'm not going to go through all the process of the selling 20-cent cards on TCG Player and all that kind of stuff, or making bulk lots, or trying to make up lots for kids and sell them on your local marketplace, and all these other ways you have to make up the money where you may actually make the profits is in all those cards that are worthless. That's actually where the money is made, because the other stuff, you're aware that it's worth money, or at least somewhat, or possibly, and then the seller is aware that those cards are worth money. So that's where the value actually is. The amount of value in a collection is in the high end, and the rest is by both parties considered somewhat worthless unless you know how to turn that worthless stuff into profits. So I would suggest against it. When would I say yes to do it? When any grade, PSA 1, basically getting it authenticated. If you just need it authenticated, that is the only time that 100% of the time you should do it. Say the value of the card raw is a $175 card, and then a PSA 1 is a $200 card, but it's something that's common for fakes. I can't sit down and talk. That's just weird. It feels weird. Then it's kind of an example. I have a Tom Brady rookie card that I know is going to come back like a PSA, I don't know, maybe a PSA 4. It's in pretty good shape, except like it's center and all that kind of stuff, but it has a really significant ding. It almost looks like somebody took tweezers to pinch it out of something. It's pretty significant. I would almost go as far as it might come back as damaged. But if I sell it raw, ungraded, on eBay and make it the cheapest one, I'll still get around $200 for it. But if I get it graded and it comes back authentic damaged, which doesn't even get a grade, I'm going to get, I don't know, half that, 75 bucks. So there is a downside risk to grading. Even if it came back a 5, I think that's still a raw card would be worth more, because people buying the raw card, they still have the hope, or they still have the chance that it could go up. But once it's graded, it's there. It's locked. Your price is locked in. It's the same thing with sealed product versus opening it. Stuff like this. Like, yes, could there be, right here in this box, there is this Evolving Skies. There's a card in that set that just keeps going up. From the day it was released till today, it just continuously has been going up. I think it's up to... And this is a modern set. That set came out 9 months ago or something, a year ago. Like not a long time ago, 9 months ago, I think. But it's a $600 card, maybe more at this point. Because like I said, it just keeps going up. But that's gambling. If I open that box thinking, oh, what if it's in there? What if it's in there? That's gambling. But if I just hold on to this box and never open it, and I let somebody else gamble, this also is guaranteed to go up. Just keep going up. Forever and ever. At what rate? Who knows? Will there be some ups and downs? Possibly. But it's still, if I open it, there's a chance that it's worth less money once I open it. If I don't open it, there's a guarantee that over time, it'll be worth more money. So there are risks and rewards. So I don't make this video just a crazy long video, because I think it already is. Moral of the story is, if it's not something you already are interested in, confident in, or at the very least have some experience, don't do it. You could still, you get at a garage sale, you find a collection that's just super cheap, or you just want to dabble, that's fine. But I would still say, take that, flip it, just like you would do anything else. Sell it on your normal platform, sell it for the market price, get it out of your store. 1 Foot Flipper said in the comments the other day that he made kind of that mistake. He bought a lot of Pokemon cards at the height and then realized eventually, which is, it's kind of one of those lessons you got to learn. You got to kind of get burnt and then you learn it, that turnover matters. In stuff that can fluctuate with markets, turnover matters. And it's not like a stock where it's liquid, where I buy it this morning and I decide this evening I want to sell it. I can do that. You have to have a buyer. There are fees. There's other things attached. A little more risk. So if you want to dabble, that's fine. But don't think you're going to get rich doing it. Don't think just because, where to go? Just because I graded my order and it came back with a total of $810, which sounds awesome. $810, that's great. 175 into 810, because that's what it cost to grade. But no, shipping, fees, cost of goods, time, all of this stuff. So my suggestion, don't do it. Do not do it. If you're somebody who's already doing it, then you already know. If you're somebody who's interested in it, start small. Start small. Try to figure out what you think the grade is, and then subtract 4 grades from that. And if it's still worth grading at that level, then do it. You know, really protect your downside risk, because you can get hurt real quick. It's not super cheap. It's a risk. And I guess I'll wrap it up there, because like I said, this video I think is going to be a little long, and I'm going to be sitting in a premiere trying to take care of sick people, all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be all for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. Subscribe, share, and be good to each other. Just really neat. Hey, do they ever really fix things? I have no idea what this is. What do I care? Let go. I'm good at this.